Hi all, it's JK here, out and about in the Golf R. I'm on my way to the office. Now it's Friday and it's going to be an interesting weekend. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'm going to ring BMW up in Nottingham and see if I can test drive a manual M240i. And then Sunday, hopefully, I'll be test driving a BMW M2. So believe it or not, they'll both be on film, and I'll be able to give my feedback on both cars, because obviously there's a thing at the minute where the M2 is obviously up to a 2-year wait for it, but it's a hell of a lot more money than the M240i. But a lot of people are saying there's hardly any difference. So yeah, I'll be giving my feedback on that. Now, if we look at the figures, both cars are 3 litres with a straight 6-cylinder engine. Both have the twin scroll turbo, although the part numbers are slightly different on the turbo. The M240 is 335 brake at 5,500 RPM. The M2 being slightly more exciting, 365 brake at 6,500 RPM, and both deliver 369 pounds per feet of torque. And I saw a YouTube video where he was saying one of the reasons he doesn't like the M240i is because launch control is limited to 2,000 RPM. Now, this was in the Netherlands. I don't know if that's the same for a UK car. Hopefully tomorrow I'll find out. It'll let me launch it, because not all dealers let you launch the cars. But yeah, he was saying that it's crap. It only lets you launch at 2,000 RPM. But that was pretty much his only criticism. He floored it a little bit, and it sounded really nice. The 6 cylinders kicking away. And I imagine it being more refined than the M2, so therefore when you floor it in an M2 it's probably going to be more exciting. Carrying on from my last video then, where I asked you the question, do any of you know of any S3 versus Golf Rs? Have you been watching the market? Because I said they depreciate the same. A couple of you came back to me confirming what I've always suspected concerning used car dealers. Now, 3 weeks ago, I went to 2 used car dealers. Well, in the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, I went to a dealer in Nottinghamshire for an M3. Asked him if he'd be interested in doing a YouTube video. He gets publicity in return. I get to test drive his M3 and whatever other cars he's got. He said he'd get back to me. I never heard anything. Then I went to a dealer closer to home in Nottinghamshire. He has another M3 with DCT. Made him the same offer, and he made a very interesting comment. He said, "Oh, you spoke to our friends last week, didn't you?" So that looks to me like we've got 2 dealerships there working with each other. So how does that relate to this video? Now, I mentioned in my last video that I did a like-for-like comparison between a Golf R and an S3. There was £4,000 difference. What I didn't mention was both cars were sold by private sellers. Now, I've had a couple of people say to me in the comments and in mail saying, my experience is S3s have gone up. I was watching this one S3, one guy was saying I was watching this one S3, it was £22,000, and it was a private sale. It was bought within 2 days, I think he said, but now a dealer is selling the same car marked up £4,000. He's asking £26,000 for it. Now, that says to me that dealers are controlling the market and pushing prices up, and they're working together. As I mentioned earlier, the 2 dealers in Nottinghamshire regarding the M3, both the V8 M3, they are clearly working together, and the other guys I've been speaking to on YouTube are getting the impression that dealers are colluding together as well. Now, using my Land Cruiser as an example, it took me a long time to source that. If you go on Auto Trader, 99% of the adverts are trade, and the private sellers that are on there, they're also trade. You go on there, like earlier I was looking at M3, it said private seller, £22,000, and then when I clicked on the advert it said lifetime guarantee and 0% zero deposit finance. So, you know, they're making out the private sellers just so you click on their advert. And, you know, I wish that was banned, I wish that wasn't allowed, but for some reason Auto Trader are allowing it. Now, getting back to my Land Cruiser, in the end I got it. I paid $7,700 for it, but if you look at what dealers are asking for them at the time, I think they've come down a bit now, but at the time you couldn't get below 12 grand. £12,000 for a car that had done 150,000 miles. It probably towed, it'd been off-roaded and all that jazz. You know, it's worked. These cars are used to work, bought to work. And I went to one dealer and made him an offer. He basically said no. He said, no, I'm not selling it at that price. And I said, well, can I contact the seller then, the previous owner? And he said, oh no, I bought it at auction. And to give you a bit more detail about this particular Land Cruiser, it was part service history, part owner's history, so it was missing. I asked him about the recall work done, because LC5s and LCs went through a phase where there was a fault in the sump and it led to an engine seize up. Oh no, I don't know if the recall work's been done, he said. So I said, well, how can you justify 12 grand? And he said, well, you'll get finance, 0% finance, and we offer warranty. And I said, yeah, but what's the warranty? He goes, 3 months. I said, no one's going to pay 12 grand for a car with only 3 months warranty, part service history, and you've just bought it from an auction, so you don't even know anything about the car yourself. He didn't say anything. Anyway, I hung up. I watched him for a month, and a month later, lo and behold, he didn't sell the car, but he didn't lower the price either. And that was a guy near me in Brainworth. So my opinion is, and I'm seeing the same with the BMW M2 as well. There's loads for sale used. They're all sky high. They're asking 7-8 grand above what you can buy a brand new one from BMW. And again, I've approached a couple of them because they're used dealers, and I've said, look, do you want to do a video together? No, we're not interested. One guy told me he spends £4,000 a month on Auto Trader, one dealer did, just to prove how much money they're making somehow. And part of that package is they get unlimited listing, and they get, if you go on some of the adverts, they've got an instant message service where you can chat to one of the sales rep. Well, it's not a sales rep, it's actually a person that works at Auto Trader talking on behalf of that dealership. But yeah, none of those BMW M2s I've seen have sold. And I've been looking for a while now, a couple of months. And the Land Cruiser, the ones I saw for sale from dealers, never sold. They're asking way too much money. So it looks like what they're doing is they're buying up decent cars. Same with the M3. These private dealers, used car dealers, they're actually beat by Sytner's, believe it or not. Sytner's in Nottingham have got an E90 for sale, 5-door, probably the best handling M3 V8 according to reviews. And Sytner are asking £25,000 for this car, but it comes with unlimited Sytner warranty. So I'd rather buy that BMW than pay 2 grand more to a used car dealer, you know, who's offering RAC warranty or whatever, you know. And what does RAC warranty cover? More to the point, what does Sytner warranty cover? You know, could you give your feedback on that? Do any of you have experience buying quite an old BMW from Sytner's or any other approved BMW reseller? And have you ever had to use the warranty? What are its limits? My opinion is, if you buy a V8 M3 from Sytner and you get some sort of complex malfunction with the V8, which I've heard you can do, because M cars are like that, you can have all sorts of problems with M cars. It's the nature of the car, has it been looked after properly, so on and so forth. You know, what is the limit of the warranty? And I suspect there is a limit, probably 5-6 grand limit. I don't know, I could be wrong. So it would be good to get your feedback on that. Right, I'm just reversing into the office. So yeah, it's interesting. It would be good to get your feedback on the I'm reversing in to see if I can get a parking spot. It would be good to get your feedback on that. And what's your opinion on used car sales? Because my opinion is, it looks like the market is cornered, all dealers are working together, and it sounds like a conspiracy theory thing, but you know, that's just what I'm seeing with evidence. And it's the same with trailers as well. I bought a I for William trailer a couple of years ago. Well, actually it was last year when I bought my Land Cruiser. And on eBay there isn't a single private seller. They're all either trade, or they're very dodgy people that's asking too much money. One guy threatened me. He wanted 3.5 grand for this I for Williams trailer. Yeah, it was nice, it had a mesh cage and it had a tipper and all that, but it was 3.5 grand new, and obviously new includes VAT. So I said, look, I'll give you 1,800 for it. And he says, why? And I says, well, no VAT for a start, so you need to knock the VAT off, and secondly, it's been stood in your yard, these are your words, it's been stood in your yard for over 2 years. So how do we know that no parts have corroded, you know, there's no rock kicking in? And they do. You have to keep them covered, you have to keep them moving. It's like a car. If you leave a car in a yard for 2 years, it will have all sorts of problems. And he basically threatened me. He said, where do you live? I says, what do you mean, where do I live? He says, I want to visit you. I says, why do you want to visit me? Anyway, so that was that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Give me your feedback, and it'll be good to discuss in the comments if you also think the market is being monopolised by dealers. And it certainly is true that anything you buy, car, trailer, there's very little private sellers. They're mostly traders. And let's enjoy the weekend ahead. Cheers.